Ooh. You are my love. I've got to come to you. Have me any way you want me. Just love me until my tension's gone. 'Cause you are my starship. Come take me up tonight. And don't be late. Yes, you are my starship. Come take me up tonight. And don't be late. And don't you come too soon. Ah, shine 'em up good, going through my neighborhood. Shining above good, going through my neighborhood. Oh, that was very deep penetrating. Didn't anticipate that. Shut him up good, going through my neighborhood. Hmm. Eucalyptus. Sending everybody that blue argonite energy. The blue argonite energy. Ah. Whoops. That blue argonite, baby. All right. Put it behind me. Now I got a twin back there. uh, Shot him up good, going through the neighborhood. All right, Mug, you get heavy. Oh, that's such a shoulder killer. Well, good morning. Definitely good morning to everyone. Better. Good morning. I am your host. This is Big Pontiac. I'm also known as Eight Wind. I am also known as the Time Lord. I am also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins, and I am definitely your one and only Galactic Daddy-O, sitting on the Galactic Patio, welcoming each and every one of the Chocolate Mountaineers on my Galactic Patio. And tonight's beer on deck is Founders of Grand Rapids, Michigan. 6.5 funky ones, and this is a porter. So pop them if you got them. Let's just show you what I'm working with. Oh, look at those dark caramel notes. Just waiting for you to taste them. And don't you wish you could be me? Don't you wish you could be me? Just waiting in anticipation of having this porter from Flounders. And we are still working with the unicorn Luca, still with the shatter. So smoke them if you want them. 2, 3, 4, 5. Activation. I am about to join the Space Force. That's why they made me second in command. To quote Jamie Foxx, you better blow that shit out. And let me give all the transformation of Jaguar energy, of the Omen. Let me get that out to everybody. Absorb that. So I saw Brother PJ in here. What's happening, PJ? So this is going to be the ghetto looking box, but it's got all your information on here. I don't think they can see the address. So when you get the black box with the black duct tape, that's coming from me. So, and Barbara, I'm sending yours out in the bags that the post office got. So, yeah, I'm sending that batch out. PJ, I'm sorry I forgot to put in stones. I got dyslexia. I get to focusing on stuff, and it's hard for me to remember everything else. And so I was like, get the tape, put it in, and forgot to put the stones in. So I'll send the stones next. I'm sure it'll be some other gear I'll run across. Because I want the world to be funky, baby. I want the world to be funky. Yeah, that's what it's about. But what's happening, Brother PJ? Valerie, email me your size. I don't think you did. I think you might have put it on here, though. Or if you do, give me your size and send me your information. Mr. Lamborghini, thank you for joining. The Most High, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Lorenzo, what is going on? Oh, I got to send you something down. You down in Mississippi. Hey, Brother Lobo, you see that sorry game today? I told PG I started watching the damn hockey game. I missed the first hockey. Well, saw some of the first hockey game, but I watched all that Blues game. I was like, this is some ridiculousness they got going on. I mean, how are they gonna give you the same script but do it opposite? As BJ would say, she was like, look at the opposite kind of way to solve problems. Well, they did the opposite script today. Well, this time you won't show any effort, and we'll make them look good. Oh, I did not bring the cigar up here. Oh, I did not. Bummer. Left it over there where I was sitting. Well, I ain't gonna go that long tonight anyway. I'm kind of tired. Yeah, I saw that whack NBA game. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. And you know, that video I made, the first thing I thought when I saw it, I was like, this is a tribute to Larry Bird. This is the Larry Bird shot. Because remember, Larry was one of the last ones to make it legally. Larry was completely behind it and shot it up under from behind. So that's all that was. And I'm like, that's just the Larry Bird shot. And you see how they put these scripts in though, and it's moving. But he just so he was in that position to do Larry Bird's like shot. So I don't know. It wasn't exciting. The hockey game was cool. It ended up being the Blues lost the first game in overtime. They won this game 4-1. 4-1. They was up 2-0 for a minute, and then in the end of the second period, the Avalanche scored, and then they got the third goal in about 6 minutes left. No, maybe more than that. Maybe about, because I had text PJ, so it was about 14 minutes left when they got the third goal, and then the last goal was on the empty net. I ain't gonna make no more hockey videos. People don't watch them. Hey, Unique Breed, how you doing? How do they script hockey? Hockey has the same kind of remote control as the retrievable golf balls. That's very obvious. But hockey does some, like hockey did a thing. It was a game I watched, Thursday or Friday morning. I watched the game, I think it was Tuesday, or maybe even last night, it was last night. I was trying to figure out how they set it up because I kept looking like, what happened? So what they did is, the team is trying to bring it out of the zone, to go to the other side. So the defending team is bringing it out of the zone. The player hits it against his own player's leg, and of course it bounces to the other team. One of the forwards is back from the other team, and he gets a one-on-one. And I mean, they do that kind of stuff all the time. All the time. I mean, they'll swipe at it and miss, causing a fast break. And as I said before, the best one I ever saw Zach Hubbard did was where it is nobody down there but the goalie. It hits the board. There's nobody down there. So the goalie just kind of follows it. He goes to the side, say my right side or your right side. He checks he just kind of turns. And then he turns back around and the puck hits the wall and circles around him and goes in. So that's how they do it. Rain and threes for the Celtics. It was a blowout before the second half. And do you see how they're switching scripts? So some games, Williams, they pushed Williams the last series too. But Williams and then that number 31 for Miami, they are just flipping the scripts for them two. Them two is basically playing the same dude. So, yeah, Valerie, it made no sense. First thing first, NBA playoffs making inch more the NHL conference finals, having blowout games. Meanwhile, the NHL having exciting games like the Lightning Panthers. Lightning won with 9 seconds left in the game. I did see that. I guess I did. I was saying, since I have more energy, that I don't take as many naps, but now I have old man naps. Old man just be like, you kind of fall asleep because I was watching that game too. So yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that now. I had kind of fell asleep watching the game before I switched over to basketball. Good share though. Good share. Y'all made it back to the office and the post game was on. Okay, bet. The kid, food for thought. Do you think the Kings Iran intentionally end up in the contents of the NBA being a WWA screen? Kings masculinity, toughness. I say for years, poor ownership. It's hard to get a great fan base up there in Sacramento. You remember Kevin Johnson, how hard just to get him a new stadium. I'll say that they are close to, because they wanted to take the team out of there and take the team to Seattle is what the word was. Seattle is a great sports city. Visiting teams love going to Seattle, despite as much as it rains. Visiting teams like going there. So I would just say the location, and as I said before, winning and losing don't matter. A lot of them have a type of league profit sharing to keep everybody afloat. I mean, remember what happened to the NBA with the team, the New Orleans team at one point. Remember, the NBA owned the team. So they remember they stopped the Chris Paul Chris Paul going to LA with Kobe. Remember how Stern, which was a direct conflict of interest, because how can you make a decision like that when you have a vested interest in the vehicle? So that just shows you how scripted it was. So I just think it's a poor place out. I don't think the NBA really likes operating there. If we followed the teams, I know they were in Kansas City. They were in, because that's where Kevin Loder played. He was in Kansas City with him. Nate Archibald was there too for years. And then they were in Cincinnati. Now I think, what did we say? They weren't the Nationals. I thought they was the Nationals, the Syracuse Nationals at one point. I guess I'm wrong about that. So they've never really been a team that's been over the top. Even when they had their best, the best two players ever come out of that was Oscar Robertson and Wayne Embry. Even when they had them two, never won. Well, but then it was tough coming out of the East when you got Wilt on one team and you had Bill Russell on the other. It was tough coming out. So I think it's and that could be partially true to make the King look the worst, I imagine. But up there, I mean, it's been a wandering franchise that never had deep roots anywhere. I mean, I think in Sacramento now is probably the longest they ever been in one spot. So I don't know. I just think the interest is not there. I don't think putting them in the finals, like you remember when they cheated Chris Webber and them, how they did them. They just don't want that franchise to be highlighted for some reason. They don't want them to be highlighted for some reason. So the Davik press conference. No, do not 9 seconds. Not 0.9 seconds. 0.9 seconds. Yeah. 0.9 seconds. That's right. Yeah, I guess I did wake up and see that. The Davik press conference where they posted on Davik was super suspect. And yeah. And did y'all see Michael Jordan gave Mitch Kupchak, he re-signed him as his general manager. And Mitch is a North Carolina guy that played with the Lakers. Tore his knee up. I want to say he did win a ring. I want to say when Bob McAdoo, they had Bob McAdoo and Mitch Kupchak. And Mitch was like Bill Walton, maybe even worse shape. Once he hurt his knee, he never was the same player. Played well in college, really had high expectations, but he hurt his knee. He was never the same, just a big dude. But I want to say 82 season, he might have won a ring with Magic. Don't quite remember, but remember he was maybe assistant general manager with the Lakers. I think at one point he was the general manager for the Lakers, but he had played for the Lakers. But he's a Carolina guy. And Mike, Carolina guys might look out for them Carolina dudes. Like, Buzz Peterson had loaned Mike a pair of shoes or something, and he had loaned him some shoes in practice or pickup or something back when they was in college. And don't you know, Mike supplies, and Buzz coaches now too, but he's had a lifetime of Nikes. I'm gonna spoil a video I'm about to release. No, I'll hold that and just release the video. But it was a video, the Spike Lee video is all I got to say. No, I'll say it. So did anybody catch the Spike Lee video tonight they showed? And, he was Mookie, the Mookie character. But did anybody catch, okay, so it's 50 years of Nikes, but did anybody catch when they showed John Fontaine? Did anybody catch that? And do y'all know who John Fontaine is? John Fontaine was the first person to, well, when Phil Knight invented the waffle soled of the track Nike, Fontaine went to Oregon, right? Yeah, Oregon Ducks with Phil Knight. And he came in second or third in something in the 68 Olympics, even though he was fairly young. I think he ran in the 72 Olympics. I don't quite remember. But this dude died. And this dude is a straight sacrifice for Nike. And I watched that video and I'm like, no, they didn't. And they only show it. It only shows it quick. But Fontaine was sacrificed for Nike. No doubt about that. Y'all can look up John Fontaine. He ran in 68 Olympics for sure. Maybe I'm wrong about 72. Maybe he died in the 60s. But he he was definitely a sacrifice for Nike. So I'm gonna make a short video about that. But it was like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Cousins played for the Kings. Yep, he did. Cousins played for the Kings. Sure did. Do you think they will take the teams away from Seattle or Las Vegas, or just add them to make 32 teams? They want to put a team in Seattle. As I said, people love Seattle. The opposing teams love going to Seattle. It is a great sports city. So they've been wanting to take a team back. Before, the dude was he was bullshit. He said even though he's from Oklahoma City, he said he wasn't going to take the team away. He took the team and actually put it in a smaller market, but that tells you the bread he got. So they're going to put a team in. We know it's a team going in Vegas. We already know it's a team going in Vegas. I would probably think they're going to give 2 franchises. Yeah, they're going to put one in Seattle, one in Vegas. The Kings is kind of up in the air. What they're going to do with the Kings is kind of up in the air, but my bet is I would probably say they're going to add 2 teams. Yep, they're probably going to add 2 teams. Yeah, Sacramento is the longest of the Kings Royal ever been. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's the most stable the organization has ever been. An organization started in Cincinnati. Researcher, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Hey, Levi. Last NBA game I went to, I didn't cheer. I was just watching a movie, basically. I actually snuck past the ushers to sit near the court. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used to do that all the time, too. We used to do that at the Target Center. Plus, I got to know so many people up in there. I was just like, man, ain't nobody here. I'm like, go ahead, man. But it's like when you go to games live, you see the Globetrotter aspect, especially since they've been playing music. When they started playing music, I'm like, this ain't, because the Globetrotters did it first. And I was like, this is just the silliness of the silly. This is you do see in football even more. Football, you see the TV timeouts when you watch it and they ain't just standing there for TV timeouts, and you're like, why would they kill the game, the momentum, and make them wait around? But again, I did that in college. When I played college football, I was used to TV timeouts. But yeah, you do get a greater sense of it. The kid there might be something to that. Ironically, Bruce Jenner was drafted by the Kings. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I did not know that. They putting one in Vegas too. Just heard it on PBS channel out there. Hey, conspiracy, what's happening? Yeah, they're definitely putting one in Vegas. They've been wanting they want all of it in Vegas. So that's all they missing is a hoop team. But it should show us all, show us all that what it really is. That this is, just showbiz. That's all. Entertainment. It ain't nothing to get emotionally connected to. I mean, I was the worst. I loved Magic. If you understand, I was Lakers through and through when Magic was there, but just some stupid plays started happening. Like the Worthy play with Henderson made no sense. Here's a dude, totally sound game, and he's going to make a cross-court pass when the best point guard that ever played the game is right next to you against Boston and give Boston the game. It was almost like that pass Isaiah threw to Larry Bird. Remember, to give Boston, when Boston was done, Detroit had them. All Detroit had to do is get the ball in bounds, they win. But no, Isaiah throws it to Larry Bird. It was a very similar play. So it's nothing to take advantage of the betting. That's the biggest thing, is decode the betting. I think now, I'll say this. It is a funner time to bet now that the betting is open, because there's so many things that will pull you in. It's definitely the betting. The betting pulls you in more. The online betting, the betting at the end of the games, over and under, have a last chance to, this is what it is. And a lot of that, again, they kind of copied a little bit of that from the TNT aspect of the tallied score, but they just use it as the over and under, which I thought was brilliant. That's brilliant marketing. That they looked at that and said, hey, we can start throwing this in the end of the game. So I like that. But conspiracy, welcome. Oakland A's going there too. They've been having troubles with Oakland in the ballpark. That's why the Raiders left. The Raiders couldn't get them to sign, to get a proper stadium in Oakland. So that's why the Raiders left the first time. So Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. They got one of the worst stadiums. So, yeah. Feel these charges. Feel these charges. Selenite is nice like that. And this is selenite is another way you can also charge other crystals. And they don't really need to be charged, but released. Crystals need to be released because you put some heavy stuff on the crystal. You know, you need something before you work with it again. Like you can't wash this, it'll melt. But others you can wash it out. But this is one, and shungite is the same way. I wanted to mention this. I forgot to mention this. I don't know if y'all saw me drink about a year ago. I had that water that's called black. Cat, what are you back there for? Hell. Going where you ain't supposed to go. You jumped on my table. I'm going to throw your ass up out of here. But that water called black. I bought some the other day and I was drinking it at work. And then I read it and it kind of made me laugh. Because when I read it, I saw what was in it. It ain't nothing but Shilajit. It's got folic. That's the mineral that's in it. Folic. That's what makes it black. It's got Shilajit in it. I'm like, wow, okay, this is what they've done. I thought that was interesting. So if you want some Shilajit, get that black water that has the folic in it, which is the main mineral of the Shilajit. So that's another way you can get it already mixed up for you. Here we go. So I wanted to throw that out there. Oh, but I am a little tired. And I ain't going to go that late tomorrow either. I got to work. I'm going to work Saturday morning. I'm going to get that money. June is coming. You know, the time of the June boys. You know, the women be on Facebooks like, it's my birthday month and stuff. Yeah. Fooling you, making you think you get old. You know, it's mental. A lot of it is mental. I have a friend that does boxing videos and stuff. Still cut, and he older than me. He got to be Mike. Mike was working with this doctor flying around the country and showing different techniques how to, because I know what Mike did. Mike got his stomach worked on because he took all the fellas took a picture together and everybody else is naturally in. And I can see where Mike, you could tell he had some surgery in there at one point. He was never a big cat as we was young, but he had something done. But he's kept himself in shape. You know, he boxes, runs, but he models. I mean, this cat now, he's got the braids go way back to here kind of deal, but or dreads, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, in great shape. Mike used to spar back when Spinks was in Kalamazoo. Spinks, yeah. What was the Mayfields, or Mayweathers, excuse me. Mayweathers used to always come to Kalamazoo to box. I met Senior. I met Roger too. My cousin, I told the story before. My cousin knocked out Roger. My cousin K-Dog. That's how I give the nickname to my son after my cousin. K-Dog. K-Dog knocked his ass out. Yeah, Vegas taking both from Oakland that played in the same stadium. So what they gonna do with that stadium? Tear it down. They're gonna tear it down. It's funny when they run into the court during the game. The people trying to protest now. This stupid chick don't realize, it's gonna take a minute to glue yourself. What she should have did is glued herself in the seat and like, I'm not leaving this motherfucker until, whatever my agenda is. Man, the cat done did something, knocked somebody. The problem I have is there's a window there, and then I've got like a little small altar under the window. And so she jumps on the table, but I put a lot of shit on the table, so she's hesitates to jump. So when she jumped on the table, she knocked some shit down. Because when she got up there, I heard her knock some shit down, so she just jumped off it again, knocked some more shit down. So she about to live outside. She gonna be an outdoor cat. Yeah, jumping on shit, like damn, really. touch that cat. Peter's going to, no, no. Yeah, okay. When I took biology, I was the best in the class of skinning cats. Skinning them. It was like 6, 7 cats need to be skinned. It's like I had a natural kind of thing to just get that hair off of there so we could look at the muscles and study the cats that was frozen. So, as I said, like people will pay all this money to dispose of the animals. Okay, yeah. I told my cats, when y'all kick the bucket, ain't no going, getting disposed of and cremated. I'm not paying for none of that. You getting put in the bag, throwing you in the dumpster. It's going to be, I'm like, I loved you when you was around, but I'm kind of glad I don't have to feed you and pick your shit up anymore. So throw his ass in the dumpster. People, giving them medicine and shit. I would tease my mother. It's like my mother's cat had been like kicking the bucket for years, and she kept pouring money, and I'm like, "It's your money, it's your money." And then today she's like, "Well, I'm thinking about getting a little dog or a little cat." And lo and behold, my daughter's mother already, where she got her last kitten from, they got more, and she's like, "I think I'm going to talk to your mom because I think she needs another cat." Dad, y'all was skinny cats at school. I thought dissecting the frog was too much. Nah, we had to, like, the cats came in frozen and we had to skin them, take the hair off of them and then moist them when they, thawed out. And then we had to start dissecting them. We each got, in college, we each got our own cat. And we had to dissect it and we had to tell what muscle was what and where the organs and all that shit. Medical stuff was hard for me. I can remember name, dates, places, that medical jargon. Sound like the rain is about to come in. The medical jargon, I just couldn't get. My dyslexia, I just couldn't remember those kind of terms for some reason. Like history, name, dates, politics, social science. But yeah, I struggled. I took kinesiology, physiology, because I thought I wanted to be a PE teacher. But a PE teacher is damn near a nurse. I mean, that's what I learned. It was damn near a nurse. Yeah. So wasn't for me. I just couldn't remember the medical terms. Just really couldn't pick. I studied hard too. I really put an effort to it. But like when I went to police academy, man, that stuff was easy. The book stuff was easy, but not that kind of stuff. I seen where a cat got ran over by a car and the eyes popped out like it's something from a cartoon. Oh my goodness. I knew some nasty ass I'm surprised they didn't turn into psychopaths, but I knew dudes that would tie cats. Like, I grew up still where you could burn your trash, and that was part of, man, can you imagine? I was in third grade in 1969, 1970. I was in third grade. And part of my job was to take a big thing of matches and go burn the trash. I'm what, 7, 8 years old. And I love that shit. You could pop them old wooden matches. I'd burn the shit out of it. They would come, they didn't know, like, and I did end up burning down the garage. I'll say that too. Where we lived in that house, I burned the garage down because we had a mattress in there. We used to, like football bounce off and shit, or we throw it down and jump on it. Well, for some stupid reason, I put some matches like to it, just to kind of burn some of the outside. And apparently it burned in. And one night they called us and said the garage was on fire. It was a detached garage. But yeah, I burned that motherfucker down. When I'd go back to Calvin's, I'd look where that garage was. And yeah, I burned the garage down. But that was my job. I always had the matches was to burn the trash. But anyway, about the animals. So I knew dudes that would tie the cats over the fire and then torture the cat. I never witnessed this, but they told me these same people would bury the cats up to their necks and then run lawnmowers over them. So it was a sick family, very sick family. And it's like the one time I went in their house was kind of like what did Eddie Murphy say his dad said to them? It was like it was so much shit in the corner they had turned it into a table. It was like, to me it looked like shit, but the way they was using it, it had to be a table because it was shit on top of the shit. So it must have been a table. I'm like, okay, I guess that's, economical. You ain't got to buy another table. The shit get hard and you just put stuff on top of it. That's what it looked like. So that was the only time I went to their house. They was weird. So sports medicine is pretty much sports. Oh yeah. To be a PE teacher, you take a lot of the classes. And this is before my son was born. So this was 87, 88. When I should have went into history or psychology, something like that I was good at. But yeah. And let me tell you how dirty they did me. I don't know if I ever told this story. Maybe I did. Maybe I told it. But I started subbing and was working every day. Working every day. My stepmother is the teacher. My wife at the time was a teacher. And so I'm working every day. We had to get certified by the state, and we only needed like 90 credit hours. I had like 110, something like that. And don't you know, because I didn't have all my classes, because I had 50 from A&T, I had 30 from where I got my criminal justice degree, from the college where I was going to for the physical education. I had like 100 and some hours. And they said because I didn't get them all at one school, they couldn't certify me to sub. And I had been subbing for months. And I mean, making decent money. This is shit. My son was 3 or so. This was like 91, 92. And it was something like $20 plus a day. I mean, it was really good money. I forget. Maybe, no, it had to be more than that. It was more than that because it was 8 hours. It was probably $80 to $100 a day for subbing. Easy money. Easy money. But yeah, it's a lot of nursery. A lot of that for sure. A lot of that for sure. But yeah, it wasn't for me. I couldn't catch on to that kind of stuff. Just I don't know. Couldn't catch on to that kind of the rhetoric, the terms, just couldn't. But I could do all that other stuff. You know, it's just remembering how to put it all together, what muscle does what. So, but I have a understanding. I mean, again, you know, lifetime of coaching, lifetime of playing, injuries, treatment. I've had all that. So experience in those areas. That's why my children would get hurt in sports. I kind of knew what to do. It's like my brother would tell you. I remember my brother was playing and they brought him home and my stepdad brought him in and my stepdad came in first. And then he said, I think your brother broke his wrist. And my brother came in because they didn't even, matter of fact, they came in the front door, not the garage, because they was about to go back, take him to the hospital. He was like, I don't know. What do you think? And he showed my brother's wrist and I'm like, looked at it. And I'm like, yeah, his wrist is broke. You better take him to the hospital. And sure enough, he had broke his wrist. But I remember they showed it to me and I'm like, yeah, his wrist is broke. Take him to the hospital. He's like, okay, I wasn't sure. I'm like, wasn't sure. It shit was all like, man. Nick Saban had a back and forth. Nick even drew Deion Sanders into it. The back and forth about the NIL. Deion responded back by tweeting, I didn't even make $1 million. I don't even make $1 million. Yeah, because they said, Saban said that he got with Jumbo Fisher, too. He talked shit about Jumbo Fisher. He mad because players leaving. You see the All-American player, the Blitnikoff player from Pitt is going to USC. So it don't matter. He was the best receiver in college still. It's a great thing for children. But yeah, he got caught in that because what Saban said is Saban said that Deion and them paid a player $1 million to come to Jackson State. And then he got checked by the NCAA. The NCAA checked him. Nick had a back and forth. Yeah, Jumbo Fisher. Yeah, Jumbo Fisher too. Yep, he sure did. And he got checked by that. He got checked. They checked him. They made him apologize to both of them. They came on tonight and like they made him apologize to both of them. That's why Deion is like, who gave him that money? What Deion and them is doing is good. Is promoting. Is trying to keep the children, the young men, to go to these schools again, because that's all. See, that's what people forget about integration. We had our own sports, our own sports leagues. We didn't need to play with them. And as I said before, the AFL was the first thing that started bringing brothers in, because the NFL had kind of like a limit. Early NBA was the same way. It was kind of a limit. Baseball was a little different because they brought brothers in so soon. But the other sports was kind of limited. And so once the leagues merged and they saw, well, you know, again, you look at the Alabama thing. When Alabama played USC and Randall Cunningham's brother, Sam the Bam, killed Alabama, you know, they say Bear Bryant kind of fixed the game so that his team would get crushed and they could start bringing them brothers in, because they knew the talent was there. It's just they wasn't getting the opportunity. And football ain't hurt Europeans in the least. You know, I mean, shoot, till the last 30 years, you know, they didn't want brothers to play quarterback. But other than that, football has embraced brothers. But You know, there's no owners. No brother owners like Mike. There ain't no like Mike in the NFL. So, and that book I got called it was Interception. That book tells all these owners. One owner, Carol Rosenblum, was probably hit. This dude was like swimming during in the ocean. You know, the oceans have that undercurrent, you know, that sideway current. That's how they say he drowned. Yeah. He's heavy gambler. And that ain't nothing went away with that. These owners we know Michael Jordan's gambling. You think Michael Jordan quit gambling because he owned the team? You think he don't still go to casinos and gamble? That ain't went away. He was a gambling addict. Competition junkie. He was a competition junkie. So that ain't went away. So, I don't really have much tonight. I am kind of tired. You know, I don't really have a whole lot tonight. I think I hit everything I wanted to hit. Yeah, it wasn't really much notes. Not really many notes. Trying to think. Gas went back up. I don't remember shit. I've been kind of busy today, so I ain't really watch a lot of TV. Nick and Dion are in a Alphabet commercial together. Exactly. So you see, it's probably giving Dion a little bit of publicity too. So yeah, they ain't no real hate between the two of them. Now maybe Satan said Dion done told him some shit talking too much. That could be the case too. Dion done told him some shit while they filming, and then he used it against him. But he got spanked by the NCAA. The NCAA made him say apologies to them both, Jimbo and him. But it's all, you know, again, it's agenda stuff. It ain't really real beef. But what Dion in the colleges are doing. Oh, let me tell you about Tariq Cohen. Did y'all see what happened to Tariq Cohen? Now, you know, Tariq Cohen got hurt in 20, ain't played since. Tore his ACL. And Tariq Cohen was on Twitter, I think, yesterday, and tore his Achilles. He was doing workouts because, you know, he's trying to come back. He's a free agent now because the Bears released him. And he tore his Achilles during Twitter. Did anybody else see that? So kind of, remember, he had a twin brother. Sacrifice. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, B Brown? Thank you for joining. What's your experience like a kid after M8? I was in 1968. I was in second grade when he got shot. Like my dad, as I said, my dad was an agent, and my dad went from, I think my dad spied on the bus riders, you know, the bus riders to the South, and I think he spied on King too. So my dad kind of went through, you know, a little bit of following King and my mother. And again, I'm in the second grade. So King went to Battle Creek one time. Yeah, he didn't come to Kalamazoo, but he did go to Battle Creek. So he came that close. But when he got killed, it was like it wasn't part of history. And I remember I had a racist teacher that was always wanting to hit on me until I threw a book at her, and that stopped that shit. She's like hitting on me too much, and I just hauled off and hit her with a book, and that seemed to be it. No, she didn't hit on me after that. She ain't tell my parents, but she quit fucking with me. But it was funny when King died, she was playing. I never forget because I was the only, like, this was a school with only, this was a small school with, let me get this right. It had 4 classes in it. That was it. 4. It had a kindergarten, maybe 5, because it had a kindergarten class, a first grade class, and a second grade class. And I think it was 2 second grade classes. We didn't have a gym or none of that. And my cousin and I were the only melanated people in there. But I think, I just remember how it touched the teacher. The teacher, this racist lady really admired King. I never forgot that. And she was playing she was playing records about it, and she was sad, and I just thought it was really odd. And that's my biggest memory about it, is that this racist acting teacher, it kind of broke her up, and she was playing the speeches and stuff, and I'm like, okay. Everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, well, okay. So I was so young that, now again, the civil rights stuff was on television, and my dad was participating, so-called. And then shortly after, my dad changed into where he was spying on the Michigan Panthers, the Black Panthers that was in Michigan and on campus, the war effort. He was spying on all that stuff at Western Michigan University. So I was so young that, I can't really say when he got shot. That's my memory. They didn't really riot in Detroit like they did in DC, like they did in LA. I don't remember them riot in Detroit. They definitely didn't riot in Kalamazoo over that. They rioted more over the war, but not when King got shot. So Michael's father was sacrificed for Jordan because of his gambling. I even say he owes some money too. Yep. Ingram, Henry, and Bryce. Yeah. Yep. So that was my kind of experience. I was so young that, I couldn't really say, hey, Stacy, how you doing? I can't really, tell you how it was. I was so young. I can't say that the people around me was like civil rights lovers. I can't say that they were. Like my mother, her family, they wasn't all just, ready to go march like that. None of them was really into it like that. They all thought it was sad that he died. As I said before, my mother I remember, I was really young when Malcolm X got killed. He got killed, what, in 64, 65? Let me see, Kennedy got killed in 63. Malcolm got killed in 65. And I remember my mother my mother met Malcolm X too. But my mother was, I remember that being sadder. I just remember she was sad over that more so than when King got killed. I would say that's my memory. So I remember just that was always a sad thing that he had got killed. And then as she read the books, I just remember that he had got killed too. Because again, it was like, I don't know how old I was when they talked about Kennedy getting killed. So, hey man, it's Mopreem, sorry. 75, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So don't really have a lot of memories about that kind of thing. But I remember, segregation. I remember how the city was. As I said before, a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but the factories I experienced in Detroit was in a lot of them black neighborhoods. The factories I experienced in Gary, Indiana, I know relatives that worked up in there. And of course, where I lived in Kalamazoo, Michigan, grew up. All the factories was in the black neighborhoods. Some within easy bus riding. Some you could walk to work. And banks, tailors, restaurants, you never went. That's where you bought everything. You bought everything in the area you lived in. You never really had to go outside the area to buy things. Definitely didn't have to go grocery shopping. So when I lived in the neighborhood, like I told the story, I was extremely young. I was about 3 or 4. My cousin put me on the back of his bike. We stopped at the candy shop. We stopped at the bakery. I remember we ran to the he rolled me around where all the dudes hung out and stuff. It was a liquor store corner. And just, I remember barbershops, hair salons, schools. I mean, I remember what it was like, and you never really needed anything outside. One of the guys that was with King admitted he moved to the side to shoot or get a clear shot. Yeah, he said that. I think that was kind of controlled kind of thing too. There ain't no accidents. Remember Dick Gregory was pushing that Malcolm got shot from the back. So that kind of thing. When we know they practiced the Malcolm thing when soon as he got back, get your hand out of my pocket. They did something similar when he came back from Africa, and they tried to kill him in France. If you study that, they poisoned him. He had got poisoned, and then they didn't let him land in France. They poisoned him in Africa. They was following him in Africa. That's when he became a Sunni, Sunni Muslim. He saw the bullshit that they was facing. But it's interesting. You read enough of Malcolm's book. One thing Malcolm said is he said the Nation of Islam could have been great, but it was ran by niggas. He said niggas fucked it up. Niggas fucked it up because it was nothing but money making. And I think he saw that he was got the short of it. He wasn't moving in. He was making the money for the organization, but he wasn't getting the money. Right. And he was the only one wearing a tie. Well, Jesse was supposed to wear a tie. Yep. Anthony, soak in some Epsom salt with hot water. I got all of them time in the spot. I get all of them in time in the spot. And remember, well, Abernathy had a tie on too, and Jesse was told to wear a tie. Jesse was told to wear a tie. But it's a good book. I know they kind of debunk a lot of stuff in it, but that dude Peppers wrote a great book about the article about King's assassination, because Pepper talks to military intelligence. And when like the dude who, if and there's another part, what did he really get killed? And that's the same with Malcolm. Was he the same? Like Kennedy obviously didn't get killed. That was all just soap operas from the 60s kind of shit. So did Malcolm get killed? Did King get killed? Because the shot that killed King would have been one of the best shots ever. They say it hit his jaw and severed his spine. I mean, and if he did get shot, I mean, that's, you know, when you watched JFK, what did Huey Long Jr. say? Get the best shooters in the world together, and one of them did it. And that's if King did get killed, it was the best shooter in the world. I mean, to hit you here, and it was almost like he killed an animal. To hit you in your jaw, to sever your spine, that's one of the best shooters in the world. If you look at the, you know, the anatomy of what killed him. So, and but when we look at the same script of the three names, James Earl Ray, I mean, what killer gonna kill somebody but they put the rifle down? You put the rifle down, you're like, well, damn, when you can take a rifle apart. Who would just take a rifle and cover it up in a coat and throw it in the door and then take off? I mean, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Good looking, these mofos hurt. Oh, okay. What did I miss? You say your feet hurt? Oh. What? What? No, Anthony said he has a bail on his ass, and I was giving advice how to get rid of a boil. Oh, a boil. Okay. Yeah, because boils can turn into MRSA. My ex used to get them. She got them since I met her. Guess I missed that. Oh, boil. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to want to take care of it, get a drain. You could go to emergency, get a drain too. On his ass. This is giving advice how to get rid of it. Yeah. Yeah, you want to get it drained, though, because you can get MRSA from boils. But my ex used to always get them. I met her. She 19, 20, and she used to always get them. They wanted someone to find that gun. Exactly. It made no sense. It made no sense. And then they trying to say the Southern Mafia. The Mafia ain't never been that sloppy. That's why, as I said before, I had about 30-some books on the Kennedy assassination, and it's just to keep you going round and round. That's all it is. It's to keep that stuff in your mind, keep going, getting around and round. That's why I say, you know, these Wikipedia searchers, especially this mud flood stuff, the more you look it up, the more Wikipedia feeds you. It will feed you. The same thing with flat plane. The more you look into it, it's ways that it'll feed you. That's the problem, is people will chase things that ain't really truth. And that's on you. That's on you. And it's stupid to argue with these people because, again, they made up their mind. They become that. So let them be. You know, let them be. I don't mean to use ass, but that's the best word I could come with. And that's the word to use. What do you think? Don't say ass, say rectum. Rectum, hell, it killed him. Remember that joke? Franklin the Giant joke? The little boy, the teacher said, hey, has anybody got any exciting stories? He said, yeah, my brother, my brother was in Vietnam and he got shot in the ass. And the teacher said, don't say ass, say rectum. And he's like, rectum, hell, it killed him. That's Franklin the Giant joke back from the early 70s. I get you. Who do I think? I don't think anybody killed him. He definitely wasn't killed. And as I said this before, the Explorer magazine or National, what's the National Makeup Story magazine? They always was saying how Kennedy was alive and people saw him. So that was just telling you. The National Enquirer, that's it. When they were still selling them, it was always stories about him being alive. But if you go back and watch that shit makes no difference. It makes no sense. None of it. None of it. You're going to give somebody that has the possibility of going to trial, you're going to put him in a press conference. You're going to have the murder weapon out in front of everybody. Come on. It's anything could get on that gun. I mean, it just made no sense. And if you read the information, they find 2 guns. They find the Italian corn liquor is kind of how you say it, and they found a German Mauser. So it was 2 guns that they found. They found 2 guns. So there was no murder there. Kennedy didn't get killed. That's all early animation. Early animation. I read this book it was 2 dudes. One was named Goddard. And Goddard was one of the guys that they came up with the jet propulsion, the way it took him to the back, the shot in the back, and how it had to be a shot from the front because he went to the back. Well, these 2 dudes wrote a book together. Well, come to find out, this Goddard dude was one of the ones that enhanced the Zapruder film. So again, an agent was monitoring this other dude's work. But it's that shit. You look at that shit. That shit ain't real. He ain't get killed. That was all acting. That's all that was. That was all acting. He sat somewhere and got old. I think he was Jimmy Carter. That's who I think Kennedy was. Only the one term of Jimmy. I think Jimmy was Kennedy. And people say, well, no, Kennedy's wasn't tall. None of them cats was tall. So to say him and Jimmy was that big a difference in height, no, none of them was tall. Them Kennedy's 5'7", 5'8". They wasn't 6'2", 6'3". And all you got to do, if you think Kennedy's tall, all you got to do is go back to Forrest Gump. And Forrest Gump, look at that All-American scene. They show you some of them other real players in that. So that's like YouTube. You can watch one video, then they recommend more videos on that same subject from that content creator. And others, they're similar. They say the similar kind of rap. Whoops. Yep. It's crazy how Steven Jackson is getting fame off of George's blood. Well, so did Black Lives Matter, because they got most of their money after Floyd. That girl that bought all their mansions, that's after Floyd. They was dead in the water. Black Lives Matter. You know what their greatest thing up to Floyd was? They was going to protest at the Mall of America. And they faked the Mall of America and went and shut the highway down at the airport. That was their biggest L up to that point. They was done. And then Floyd, day 3, all the newspapers showing pictures of them holding their banners and people pouring in money to them. And then people saying they don't care what they did with it. That's what people saying. We don't care what them niggas did with the money. We just sent it to niggas because it made us feel better. They should have sent it to me. I'd have been hooked all y'all up. All 20-some people, I'd have hooked all y'all up. Send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to Big Pontiac and send it letting them waste it. But Craig Fax said that when his cousin got killed, they came in and protested for a day or 2, but they didn't pay any funeral expenses. They didn't pay anything on the trying to sue the city with the attorneys. They didn't give him anything. And so it was a money grab. That's all it was. Soros put controlled opposition to become a money grab. And again, they were not here from Floyd from the very beginning. When Floyd came out and all these young melanated people hit the streets of Minneapolis, Black Lives Matter had nothing to do with that. They came later. And it was just no coincidence that all the pictures you start seeing was the signs. All of a sudden, T-shirts. That was days later. And that's something I hate that they took, because I had a lot of great footage of that. When they destroyed my other channel, I had great local footage I mean, local footage was like, fuck the pandemic. We about Floyd. Everybody was like, fuck the pandemic. We showing Floyd shit constantly. They were showing the shit burning down. They broke into the post office. And that's bogus about the post office. You ain't going to hit a jackpot stealing shit in the post office. There are people that get their medication from, in the mail. So that was kind of bogus to rob that place. I saw pictures of him being alive. So reportedly he died at the age of 104, 20. And Junior is alive. And Junior is still alive. And Junior was my age. He was 6 months older than me. What's funny is Diana was a day younger than me. My birthday's June 30th. Her birthday's July 1st. And we're a day apart. And I remember when they proposed that Diana got killed. And that was, that looked like they went after her. They went after her. That was a MI, what do they call them? MI5, MI6. James Bond went after Diana. They sent James Bond after her ass and got her. Now, that's a hard call with Junior. That's a hard call. I think money killed him. I really do. He paid $250,000 for that plane. He only knew how to fly during the daytime by looking at the land. He hadn't passed his test for looking at instruments. It appeared like they had to be at this wedding. His wife didn't want to fly the next day and pressured him to fly when he didn't have experience. And he ended up going too far out in the ocean, and it looked like he got the plane doing like this. So I think money killed him. Jay Tonsky, mine is the 28th. Okay. Yeah, June is nothing but my family's birthday. My son Cameron's birthday is the 5th. My stepfather's birthday is the 15th of June. My grandfather and my brother are both the 22nd. My grandfather's passed. My sister is the 25th. And then my aunt, I have an aunt that's a year and a day older than me. Hers is the 29th. We are a year and a day apart. So when I was born, she was a baby. She was still a baby. We are a year and a day apart, and she's my aunt. Anthony Davis. Dinah was a good woman. It appears like she was sweet. The whole deal, she married her cousin. Wasn't a good deal for her, Send me $90 million, everybody would be riding Diamond in the back, sunroof top. I bet. My pops is June 7th. Valerie says, funny. Yeah, that's a good one, Lorenzo. Exactly. But yeah, so it's, who cares? It's the kind of thing like, who cares? Some people that really did get killed is Medgar Evers got killed in front of his children. Malcolm X could have been killed in front of his children if he was killed. It's kind of, that's even kind of, I don't know. Because it was the fear push that if you want change, you get killed. That's the whole thing of Kennedy. If you want change, you get killed. And then remember, if you really look at a lot of that civil rights, it was Indian civil rights. It didn't say black or Negro. It said Indians. Look at some of them paperworks. It's civil rights for Indians. What did King say? You made us a stranger in our own lands. You made us a stranger in our own lands. So, well, I ain't gonna, as I said, I'm gonna do short shows tonight, short shows tomorrow. I'm a little tired. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, I got in 3 miles of pickleball today. I kicked some pickleball ass. Yeah, still need to get a little better. I'm gonna definitely get another racket, but still just get a little sharper. I don't think I'm gonna get to play tomorrow because of the weather. Maybe Saturday, maybe. It's about to get kind of cool here. It's supposed to rain tonight, so I know I'm gonna get an early call from my daughter. Can you take me to school? What's your mama doing? I'll be grumpy and shit. What's your mama doing? Damn, I'll be asleep. Well, Dad, you told me to call you. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I played, I must have played like 10 games because I got in 3 miles worth of steps. So, I'm looking at my face, and now I got a little more tan because I took my shirt off. It was so nice. Still slightly too windy, but still nice. So, yeah. But tonight is Caban. And Kaban is the earth force or incense. The qualities are center readiness, synergy, synchronicity, earth force, galactic alignment, earth keeper, fluid, world resonance, clue tracking, crystal healing, shield, plant herb wisdom, medicine ways. Symbols rainbow, white lion, or the whale. The number is 17. Colors fuchsia. Herbs are Irish moss. Flowers are fuchsia or ginger. Flower essence is corn, grounding spiritual relationship to the earth. Scents are Nagachapa. Stones are pink tourmaline, ruby, pink ruby, morganite, pink fluorite. It's an earth element. Direction, because it's a new direction, comes from the east. The shadow wisdom is focusing on the past and future, not being in the present. Be here now. Overinterpreting signs, symbols, dreams, and visions, jumping to conclusions, non identification with their earthly existence, being floaty, not being grounded. But the way you can turn it around is being grounded, is be centered in the moment, in the present moment. Observe without drawing conclusions. Allow the larger pattern to emerge. Remember your choice to come to earth is unique in time of transformation. That's a little bullshit, but that's okay. Harmonic tone, harmonic wisdom is a tone. And so the mantra is fingers and thumbs, both hands, to form a triangular shape, moving through the chakras. So I guess you're going to, throw the diamond, but you're going to run the diamond throughout your chakras. I think it'd be a better way to do that, but okay. And you would say, gift of the sacred, Unus Mandani, eye of the Synodar, sacred loop of the Order Boris, circle of the fifth, be completed in me. And I'm aligned with my center, earth force aligned with the cosmic force. And so, yeah. So if you want to push for manifesting tomorrow, the energy is a new cycle. The new cycle is always a great time to manifest because you're working with the whole powers. You got the center, the energy isn't turned, the energy is new. So you got all four directions starting because everything starts in the east and turns. So there's no turns yet. So great time to manifest for those of you who want to manifest. WVA, Dallas B Phoenix. Oh, did they? I didn't know that. Okay, Dallas B Phoenix. I saw they were showing the score. Remember that comeback on Monday Night Football, Bears versus Cardinals, scripted. Remember the one where when Mac first got traded to the Bears, Mac destroyed the Packers in the first quarter. Remember they even hurt Rodgers. And when Rodgers was coming out for the second half, Rodgers started laughing. I think they told him the script, and Green Bay ended up winning. Mac had a strip, fumble, touchdown. And the Packers came back and won in the second half against the Bears. So if y'all remember that one, that was not believable at all. But I just remember maybe they took Rodgers to go get taped and they brought him up, but he started laughing. I think they told him the script. Well, you scripted to win. So, yeah. So I'm going to read more. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. The civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent. Oh, and y'all look at Siova's video. Siova did a video, and I'm going to tell you, it's interesting. Siova points out some guys that were saying the World Health Organization is trying to gather new treaties and getting more power. But it's funny already. They trying to defend because you looked it up and they got the defenders. They can't do that. They're just trying to get everybody to get on the same page to reporting. That's how they put it. But that ain't what a treaty is. So it's funny how. So look at Siova's newest video. On this new world order, the World Health Organization and the treaty that they're trying to get with all these different countries. And remember, dealing with people, I am another yourself. Remember to lower Martian the eyes, see from their point of view before you jump to conclusions. Show a little compassion and listen before you jump to conclusions. And tonight, remember, if you want to be unbothered in your sleep, you can be. The things you put around you when you sleep are the things that can protect you. So if you feel your dreams are being bothered, you having sleep paralysis, activate your room. Tell the things around you that you needed to protect you, and the things you put around you will respond. So you ain't necessarily got to get crystals. The things you put in your room, I don't care if it's colors, whatever you, but let this help you so that you can have some peace. Because there's simple ways to some of these simple things that can affect you. There's simple ways to get around it. And so may your rest be the most joyful rest. And for those of you that have to work tonight, may the rest of your time go smooth. And the same thing, may you go safely home, and may you have the rest you need to get ready for your day and fill in your time. And remember to find joy in your heart. Because even when it's bad, it's good because you're alive. That's why dudes gladly take life in prison, because they're still alive compared to the other. But even when that comes, accept it. I'm not going to give any medical advice, but when it's time, it's time. Nothing to be scared of. It's just a natural. And I was thinking when religious people come at you, it's like, well, you can't see air, but you believe in air. That's the funniest, that's the simplest shit they can say. Well, how can you believe in God and you can't even see him? Well, you can't see air and you believe in it. Well, do you think this thing that whatever it is calls itself that? You think a tree calls itself a tree? You think a bird says, shit, what the fuck they talking about? Here, bird. You think they call that each other that? They don't need names. They just have existence. They don't need to be named. They make us think that we got to be named. NFC championship back in 19 against the 49ers, he came out like he lost his mama or something. I mean, it's like the scripting the games is beyond. I've already proven it. I've already proven it beyond a shadow of a doubt. I've already proven it. That's part of why they took my other channel away too. They used a lot of it to say that it had something to do with the jab, but it was part of getting rid of that information too, because I've been on their neck, and people like Lobo and others that have passed this work along. I've done my job, and I'm thankful that I've done my job. And someone out there, I want to say thank you, because he caught some basket manipulation. And I went in on another phone and saw it. I had to go look at my stuff, and I was like, wow, I'd never got this alert of this stuff, because he put it at me. So if you catch this, I wanted to shout you out. I'm sorry I forgot your name. Be old man. But I did see your video, and your video was an excellent one. And again, I was lucky to get to see it, because I never saw it come across any of my stuff. And so I wanted to shout out that cat. I'm sorry I didn't say your name, but if you ever watched this and you did that kind of work and you said at me, yeah, that I did see your work, and I thank you. That's all. I just open up minds, and the people that can do the work better, edit and everything better, right on. That'll make me mad. I am what I am, and I feel confident in who I am, and eyes that I open, and that's it. That's it. I ain't ego tripping off of nothing. Don't have to ego trip. I'm glad who I am. I don't wear jewelry to impress anybody. I like jewelry myself. I don't do none of that to help anybody else. I like it myself. I've been wearing this shit since I was in my 20s. I remember the first Rolex we had the Rolex with it had the gold and the stainless. It had those. We had matching. My ex-wife and I, we had the matching ones. The gold and the stainless was the first ones we got. And I think we paid for the two, $3,000 for the two back then. And this is real 18 karat gold in the links and stuff. Because the better one was when you get the bezel. Because you could get the gold bezel, and then you had the stainless in between the gold. That was the one. But the one I got had the stainless bezel, but it had the gold links. The first ones we got was matching ones. And that was like 87, 88, somewhere back in there. And them same watches today is damn near 20 grand. and somebody broke in our house. I had painted windows from the previous owners, and I had busted the windows open, so the windows could open and close. And we was broke up out, so we wasn't together, and someone stole those watches. We got the insurance money back though, but we wasn't together. I wasn't living there when somebody broke in. But you know how men be. Your shit be here, there, and those kind of stuff. Those watches was at the house, so. Some of my other stuff they took. My class ring, my high school class ring, had my etched little 18-year-old name in there. Somebody took that ring. Silver. Wasn't worth hardly nothing. So, well, y'all, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you, everybody that participated, asked questions. I appreciate it. Again, after the game tomorrow night, if it's a late game, I'm going to do a short show like this. And this really ain't that short. I guess an hour, 16 minutes. But I do got to get up early Saturday because I'm going to go make some money. I'm going to work for the man. What else you got me to do, boss? Anything else, boss? Here goes one for you. I work with some people, and I've said this before. But, I work with people that were still using old slaves terms. And like, if we had an easy day at work, dudes would be like, we picking and tall cotton. That's some shit that existed for hundreds of years before the dude I first started hearing them. It's like, what we got to do today? Oh, shit, guys, we picking and tall cotton today. Because you ain't got to bend over. You can stand it up and just pick the bulbs off the top. Spencer Haywood said he, as a little boy, had to pick 100 pounds of cotton a day. He got 50 cents. But hell, 50 cents, you could damn near buy a house back in the day. So, just joking. All right, y'all. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your super funky host, Big Pontiac. So, till we meet again, say less.